welcome to some good news today, some really good news. So if you haven't been following, Biden administration just laid out a new framework, if you will, not so much new, but a finalized framework of what the EV tax situation is going to look like for us future EV buyers. There's a couple of things that, some EV buyers are going to be a little upset at, but for the most part, it's really great news, and especially if you're a Ford F-150 Lightning buyer, there's really great news. And it's some of the stuff we've already talked about, but at least it's like officially, semi-officially, there's probably still like maybe a 10% chance-ish that this might not pass, but it is looking really good that it will pass. So we're going to break down all those details, and additionally, like your income, if you want. Well, let's get that one out of the way. Basically, everyone qualifies there. It is a $400,000 income. If you make that much money and you are watching my YouTube channel for information, you can sponsor me, whatever you want to do. I'll make a video personally just for you every day, and it's like $10 a video or something. I'll do that for you. So everyone else, you qualify, but that 400,000 and higher, you won't qualify. So again, we're going to break down all of that and a little bit of other Ford Lightning news right after this 4-second intro. So up first, I want to talk Tesla, even though we're mostly focusing on the Ford Lightning here today, but let's just talk about Tesla for this long. So if you are familiar with the old EV tax credit, basically it was $7,500 based off liability tax at the end of the year. What that means is you buy a Tesla, let's say, or any other EV, and at the end of the year, if you owe $7,500 or more, you get that deducted when you pay your taxes. So if you're someone who gets money back on your taxes, you wouldn't even get this $7,500. So that was the old way it worked. And then also for each manufacturer, so Tesla, and they're eligible for 200,000 cars. So that means after they've sold or processed 200,000 sales, they can no longer get that. So that's the place that Tesla's at. I think GM's at it, and Ford's really close, which is why this bill is coming in just in time, because there's no EV tax credits for anyone buying a Tesla right now. One reason is the fact that if they bought one this year, there's nothing, but if they wait until January 1st, there more than likely is something. So that sucks for a Tesla buyer. At the same time, it's pretty great. If you have a order locked in, like I do, you can be eligible to get this deal. And if you're like me, you got your order in before the price hikes happened. So I'm sitting really pretty for this Model Y, where I can basically, I skipped $5,000 worth of price hikes, plus I might get up to $8,000 off my purchase when this bill goes through. Not important, but let's get into the tax news, because that's what's important. So again, this is the House bill that is going through. Again, I'm talking like it already happened. It hasn't already happened, but it's looking really good like it will. As I just said, it will not be retroactive. So if you are a EV orderer and you have one coming down, and see if you could postpone it until after January 1st. This is probably going to make so much chaos happen, especially for Tesla. Anyone who has a order within the next 2 months, if they're not, if they're price cautious at all, they're going to wait and they're going to postpone their order till January. Long story short, postpone your order if you can, because you won't get this new tax credit until the 1st. So what happens when January 1st hits? Well, that $7,500 tax rebate, and it's a rebate now, comes back. And now it's no longer off of your tax liability at the end of the year where you would deduct what you owe. It is a point of sale, $7,500. Now there's additional, but that base credit is going to be $7,500. So Tesla will get that again, even though they have sold over 200,000. And basically every electric car, there's some variations to that, but anything that's all electric will be eligible for the $7,500. And the scope of this, so that $7,500 is expected to stay for the next 10 years. Now, I might be missing something, but I did not see a cap again this year of the 200,000 like there was. It says for 10 years. So 5 years, this is going to be eligible for all cars made, no matter where they're made. And then the next 5 years after that, it's going to be just for US cars, US EVs, of course. And now let's talk about where we can scale this out and why the F-150 is making a home run after home run. Ford, again, must have just, I don't know what they sold their soul to Congress because they hit a lotto here. Now, that is the $7,500 tax credit base. Yes, they get that, obviously. Now they get another $4,500 for union built. And then there's actually another $500 that Teslas are also eligible for. So I know I'm going a little all over the place, but bear with me. Hopefully I have some numbers on the side of the screen. There's another $500 for that battery being over 51% built in the US. So that brings a grand total of $12,500 off of the Lightning, and it's almost official. That's awesome news. We already mentioned the income window, and obviously I think we mostly all would fit that under making under $400,000 a year. But there's a car MSRP window as well, and it's got to be under the certain price. I'm going to go through those real quick. So what does that mean? The MSRP of the car, if it is under, let's say the car is under $55,000, it's eligible. If it's a truck and it's under another, this is the big important one. If it's a truck, if it's under $74,000, that's going to be eligible. That's interesting. We'll come back to that. The SUV has to be under $69,000. Not a lot, if any, SUV. I guess the Model Y would be technically an SUV, but other than that, not a lot of SUV EVs on the market right now. And then the van, I guess the E-Transit is the only one I could really think of. That's $64,000. Maybe there's some other EV vans. Within the next 10 years, there definitely will be. So those are the price caps. And we said the truck is $74,000. So what does that mean for us high rollers out there? The Lariat Plus and the Platinum purchasers. A lot of alliterations in this video. Platinum purchases. Those guys are not going to be eligible for this. So the Lariat, as we know, starts at $67,000. $67,474. That's the leaked pricing we got at the very beginning of all this searching. So that you'll get in the standard Lariat and everything lower. But the Lariat premium package is $79,474. I wouldn't be surprised if Ford plays a little jujitsu now that they know that this is probably going through. That was my theory on my last video, is that they were actually waiting to release pricing until this was solidified, because I have a feeling they might even hike some of the lower ones up a couple $1,000s, because they know their customers are already getting a $12,000 plus discount on this car. Why not, make a little extra for them? And why wouldn't they, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of that leaked pricing go up by like even $5,000. I don't see why they wouldn't. But at the same time, there might be some wiggle room of what they do with the like Lariat and Lariat Premium, because it's so close. It's at $79,000, that premium. I wonder if they make something in the middle just to squeeze everyone like paying $74,000 exactly on the car just to get it in under the rebate. They're making everyone get like this premium package. If I were Ford, I would be making some sort of combo trim that gets people to buy that. I don't know. That's just me though. I hope that these prices stay the same, the prices that we saw leaked, and of course I'll have them on the screen. But again, I would not be surprised if we see these pricing gadgets on the website launch next week, is my hope. And I bet that we see them a little bit higher than we thought. However, rest easy knowing that they will be eligible for this tax credit, if everything goes right. Again, like a 10% chance this doesn't happen. So we always got to consider that. But it is looking good. Okay, before we wrap up here, I just want to talk ordering in general. Now, there's a lot of chaos that happened last week. If you remember, I made a video about how your ordering wasn't going to open, and it didn't. It did not open this week. I know you guys maybe were upset. A lot of people didn't believe me. I heard from someone that Ford is saying it was a glitch in their system. It was never going to happen. There were dealers that were literally making an appointment with their customers. Like, I don't know how that was a glitch that they didn't catch. I, again, still think they were postponing for this tax information. because that's just to make orders. They can not be ready for production and still start getting orders. But what do I know? Again, I don't know. Another thing I wanted to talk about really quick was just a couple tips I learned watching some videos. Long MacArthur just made a great video. Shout out to them. Hopefully I have their video link below about ordering when it comes time. And I wrote some notes down, so hopefully this helps. First of all, if you are like, again, ordering might open. There's no official date. I wouldn't set a date at all. Who knows when this date happens? After what happens with the other one, I would take everything with the biggest grain of salt you got. So, but when that time comes, and there's some like pre-order stuff that you can do right now too. All right, let me just get into it. It'll make sense. So the latest news, if you will, some things that I didn't know is that Ford dealers can be EV certified. So I didn't know that. So it might be worth reaching out to your dealer, making sure that they're EV certified, that they have someone who can take delivery of these EVs. Like if they're already selling the Mach-E's, you're probably good, but just ask. Apparently it's a thing, so I didn't know it. Maybe you don't either. Go ahead and ask your dealer. One thing I did gauge from that video too is there's still time to change your dealer. I was told by my dealer probably to keep me there, that I shouldn't because it might affect my reservation. Who knows? But apparently, like if you find out they're not EV certified, that's a good reason to probably move. And now here's the biggest piece of news that has me going crazy. Apparently they're going to do ordering in waves. And that's kind of a bummer to me because and the waves means they're going to bring people in with lower reservation numbers to order at their dealer. They're going to get contacted by Ford to then go to their dealer and make their order. And part of me is a little upset because I think at my dealer, I'm one of the few people who have one ordered. So I don't know if I count as that wave because I'm technically probably higher in the 50,000 range of my reservation. But in my area at my dealer, I'm probably in the top 10. So does that qualify me? I don't know. They're going to do it in waves, whatever that means. It was very unclear. I didn't get the exact scope of what it meant, but it sounds like they're doing a select chunk at a time. The main reason they explained is this will help them gauge what are the conversion rates per dealer. So if they bring in 10 people at every dealer, the people who have the highest percent, if 8 people order at my dealer, they are going to prioritize allotment at them because they know people in this area are interested in the car. It's part of their algorithm, I guess. So again, take this as you will. This is from one video. I don't know the exact validity of this, but it sounds like it makes sense. Something I did learn is that after you order, you will still be able to make updates. And the reason this is so important is, as we saw with the Bronco, there was like certain things in your like configurations that were not getting scheduled to be ordered because they were either out of stock parts wise, or they were just delaying the like hard tops, for instance. That was a big issue with the Broncos. Basically, you will be able to make changes if you find out, like let's say moonroofs are in short demand, so none of the Lightnings with moonroofs are getting made. You can change that order to then get your car built faster, and that won't affect your placement in line. In fact, it could boost it. So that's something to keep an eye on after you made your order. I know I'm talking way in the future because we don't even know when we get to make these orders, but once you can change these. And then one last tip that was pretty interesting in this video is to make sure when you're making these order with your dealer that they take your ID and that they actually make an order. Apparently there's some dealers who made this mistake with the Bronco, and apparently it means, I'm saying apparently so much, sorry. Ford needs to see that there's a person associated to these orders so that it can be prioritized. Just saying that, hey, I want these at my dealer is one thing, but if they are actually making an order for a customer is a different thing, which apparently can happen at dealers. I don't know the details here. Again, I'm just quoting from this video. And if they see the ID tied to it and it's an actual order, it will actually get processed and made. So the way to check that is after you make your order, you should get what's called a confirmation email. And it seems pretty obvious to me, but I wanted to relay this information because it was something I didn't even think was something I had to worry about. But the more information, the better. That's what we're doing here. Anyways, guys, that's all I have. I'm done. You can go get on with your day. You don't have to hear me talk anymore. thank you for watching. Again, you guys are all the best, except for the ones that are mean. You guys are fine too. I guess I don't really care. So be sure to, do all YouTube stuff, click all my buttons, and follow me on the internet. I will see you guys. Thank you.